so far, she has not sought political asylum in India. She still continues to be the guest here and looking for some asylum somewhere. Now, we don't know exactly where will it play out. But theoretically, as you rightly mentioned, that these cases which are coming up, at 12 now, and I think there'll be many more that will be eventually filed. And it will have to go through the legal process in Bangladesh in the first place. And if you remember, the acting foreign minister had made a comment on this. And he said that if your legal authorities ask for extradition, we'll request for extradition.
Right.
Now, it is still a way ahead because, as you know, that we have been trying to get Malaya for several years now. Nirav Modi's
Yes.
and others, they are all under the extradition treaty,
Right.
and it has not worked out. I remember that when I was looking after the Middle East in the foreign ministry, we tried to get some people from UAE, and those people were never sent back. But today things have changed a great deal. So it all depends how things work out. But for the moment, and on the other hand, you know that we have this history of looking after our guests. Secondly, we'll have to see that what is the concrete evidence that is provided that is again vetted within the Indian legal system. She'll, of course, have a stay here as well. Thirdly, it depends on to what extent the Indian government would be wanting to comply with that request, because there
Yes.
are always legal, a lot of legal loopholes, and I don't think that in the routine course, either they will ask for her extradition or India will provide that extradition. We have to look at it from India's point of view. We have we always say that we stand for the people of Bangladesh or people of our neighborhood, and whatever happens, and in that process, whoever is the leader, they we work through them. I mean, that is essentially the current policy of the government is. In effect, it happens that you are working more closely with that person because that person happens to be in the government for 15 years. But semantics and symbolism are also very, very important in diplomacy. Now, would you like to buckle under just because there is an inimical regime which is there and wants to make a point of it? I mean, that is a call that the government will have to make it. And I doubt very much that it will be in the affirmative. Because, frankly, let us say, presume that BNP comes to power tomorrow. Of course, the students themselves are looking for an alternate, and maybe they will
Right.
form their own party, which might be very different. But let us presume then BNP is obviously not quite well disposed towards India. In any case, there are these relationships. We have an old history. We have a problem which we had seen. We'll see that Pakistan would become far more active in a different way. You will have security issues that will be telling upon you. And but in my view, the thing is that as far as Sheikh Hasina is concerned, we will have to find a way out if you don't want to completely displease the population of Bangladesh, because see,
Right.
at that moment, nobody is there. You have to convey a message that you stand for the people of that country, not
Yes.
necessarily a particular leader,
Right.
even if that is the intent. And therefore, I think that maybe she might even go to Saudi Arabia. Every single leader of the world, Islamic world, has been in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Taken. Saudi Arabia doesn't care two hoots for it, even though we may have a treaty with them at this time. So political cases are treated very differently. And I think that there is a very important calculation that is made at a particular point in time. Well, I think in the short term and medium term and long term, one of the key interests for India is that the country should become stable
Yes.
and secure. That is the most important thing. Because stability in Bangladesh, even in the short term, immediately, is of utmost importance. Because if they are able to do that, then only they can move forward. Secondly, in the medium term, I think that we will have to review our policy of whether we are going to continue to work with one political party, multiple political parties, or uh, various stakeholders in that country. And as Chirag mentioned, I mean, you look at what we have been doing. I mean, people might criticize India's neighborhood first policy,
Yes.
but frankly, it is a non-reciprocal policy that has paid off dividends for everyone.
Right.
And that's precisely the reason, whether it is Afghanistan, Taliban in Afghanistan, whether it is Sri Lanka or Nepal, or for that matter, Maldives. the countries initially they were anti-India rhetoric, which was going on the streets
Yes.
and among the leadership, but then they realized the reality of their own existence and the
Right.
national interest, and so they come back. I mean, this is precisely what's going to happen in Bangladesh. Even though one must grant that the Bangladeshi people, especially the youth, the students,
Yes.
are a volatile, and they are very I mean, they all the revolutions that have happened, 29 or so, the coups and whatnot, they
Yeah.
have been removed by the student agitations, and that's
Yes.
precisely likely to happen. But today they are looking at it, they are not enchanted by Awami League, they are not enchanted by the BNP or the Jamaat Islami and all that, so it is very likely that there could be another front that might come up and could perhaps try to lead the country in a different way.